Hola, benvindo. Welcome to what will be my review video of the 2022 São Paulo Grand Prix sprint race. I'm really looking forward to this race. It'll be the first sprint race that I've made a review video for, so that feels cool. The start is about half an hour away, so we're probably about, certainly much less than 1 hour away from the start. Really looking forward to it. Qualifying yesterday was awesome. Amazing result. So happy for Kevin Magnussen to get pole position for Haas. That was amazing. Amazing result, and shame that it's not actually for pole position for the actual race, because it deserves to be recorded in the history books. Also, it's the first pole position by any driver for an American entered F1 team since Jean-Pierre Jarier's Shadow took pole position for the 1975 Brazilian Grand Prix, which was also at Interlagos. So there's a beautiful synchronicity going on there as well. So really can't wait for this race today. It should be really exciting, and yeah, feels really cool to have the first of two, what will hopefully be two awesome races this weekend. So yeah, see you on the other side. Hey everyone, how are y'all doing? So now it's the next day. I totally overslept last night while I was waiting for results of penalties from the race and other things, technicalities to become clear. So basically it's now the next morning. I've decided to film the rest of this reaction video outside because, as you can see, it's a nice day, bearing in mind that we're in Scotland in November. Pretty nice. So yeah, now on to the reaction video for the sprint race. Amazing sprint race win by George Russell. I'm really happy about that. That's amazing for him to win the race. I think it's great to see him now really starting to realise his full potential as an F1 driver. I was gutted for him when he nearly won, should have won probably the Sakir Grand Prix back in 2020. So it's awesome to see him win the race. I'm really happy about that, and it certainly wasn't a lucky win either. Obviously, having to beat Max, he had to beat the best in the business to score this win. So it's awesome for him, and obviously now he has a golden opportunity to go one better in the race later on today. Shame his first win wasn't in a Grand Prix, but you know, it's an F1 race, and even if it's a short race, it's an F1 race, and he won it brilliantly. He won it in the best way possible. It was awesome for George, so I'm really happy about that. Amazing battle for the lead between Max and George. That was so great to see. It was 3 laps of beautiful action. It was done, the battle was fought in the best way possible. I thought so hard racing but fair, so good but so fair. It's awesome to see F1 racing on the track like this. I think that was an amazing battle for the lead, and again, it promises great action for the race later on today. That was fantastic. It was great to see Kevin Magnussen make a good start and lead the first couple of laps. Obviously, bearing in mind the relative lack of competitiveness of the Haas at the moment, he was bound to fall down through the field as the race progressed, but he still did a great job. He did the best with what he had, and he drove an amazing race. I thought he drove really, really well. And obviously, unless we get a really crazy race later on today, like the 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix was, for example, then he's unlikely to score a podium or better probably in that car. But it was great to see him lead the race, and great to see him realise his potential and more so far this weekend. Great performance from K-Mag. Really good drive by Lewis Hamilton, I thought, coming up from 8th to 3rd. Obviously that becomes second for the race with Carlos Sainz's penalty. Really great, just as you'd expect really from Lewis in Brazil. This has become such a second home race for Lewis, really. Not just in terms of citizenship, but also because he's always connected so well with São Paulo and got on so well here, and obviously the track suits him so much as well. So that was really impressive. He had to deal with some pretty aggressive, pretty robust defending from Carlos Sainz. Carlos was pretty firm, but mainly fair, I would say, with his drive to second place, getting past Max, and then also fending off Lewis at various points in the race. I thought he drove hard but fair. Obviously it could be perceived as aggressive the way he defended and drove against the other drivers, but to paraphrase something that Martin Brundle's tended to say, you can't penalise or sanitize every bit of racing driving that happens. Obviously it's great to see the drivers going for it, and it's great to see them racing hard. So I thought Carlos actually drove really well to get the second place, but Lewis drove really, really nicely as well to get third. Max drove really well in the opening stages, I think, to get the lead and then to defend from George Russell until George finally got him. I think he's got a great chance of winning the main race, starting third on the grid. I think that's really, really good. Really good starting position for Max. I think he will have learned from having what turned out to be the wrong tyre on for this sprint race. He'll learn from that, and the team will learn from that the soft tyre is clearly the best tyre to race on this circuit. So I think that although he dropped back in this race, he is gonna come back strongly, I think, probably in the race later on today. So Max, a solid performance. I'd say that he and the team obviously won't be happy with it because it wasn't first, but I think that for most of us, the fans, it was good to see somebody different winning. It was good to see different drivers on the podium, in the top three at least. And yeah, I think that it sets up a really potentially exciting race, helps to set up a really potentially exciting race later on today. So another solid drive from Max. A great deal of craziness going on between the Alpines and the Aston Martins in this race, I'd say. A lot of interesting politics for the team management of those teams to sort out, probably, in well, at least we're close to the end of the season, so they don't have to deal with, manage, put up with those driver pairings for too much longer. But it was pretty juicy seeing all that play out. I think Lance Stroll's driving was shockingly bad in this race. I'm fully aware that obviously you need to race. Defending from other drivers is part of racing. It's part of the reason why you're there. But Martin Brundle said it perfectly. You need to behave in a manner which allows other drivers to trust you around the track, and I think that Lance Stroll, I picked up on it a little bit in my review video of the United States Grand Prix, when Lance Stroll, in my opinion, completely caused the accident with Fernando Alonso there by moving too late after Fernando had committed himself to a pass and really just causing that huge accident. And his move across on Vettel today, or yesterday now, his move across on Vettel I thought was shockingly dangerous, really bad driving. And then ironically, as Martin Brundle was speaking about it in the commentary, then he did another dodgy move on Mick Schumacher, which we saw live from Mick's onboard camera, and it's just shocking that Lance Stroll, he's clearly got some talent, he's clearly capable of decent results in the right car, he's shown that in the past, but I'm really hoping that something's going to be done to discipline him, that some action's going to be taken which is hopefully going to teach him to drive more safely, because it's going to cause an airplane accident at some point. Driving like that, moving suddenly when another driver has committed himself to passing, it's just not acceptable. I think Lance is probably safe in that team indefinitely in terms of having a drive there as long as he wants it, because his dad owns the team. But in terms of the combination of talent plus discipline as a driver, I think he's not worthy of it at all. I think that with Fernando Alonso coming into that team as his teammate next year, I think the combination of Lance Stroll and Fernando is going to be interesting to watch. To be polite about it, I think that if Lance keeps driving the way he's been driving now against Fernando as his teammate, I think we're probably going to be in for a bigger firework display than what we usually see at New Year, to be honest, in most places. I think it's going to be interesting to watch. I think that's a potentially very, very spicy situation on the cards next year with Fernando going into that team, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it pans out. Okay, so this has been my short review video of the 2022 São Paulo Grand Prix sprint race. In my opinion, the best sprint race that we've seen so far since this format was introduced. I think that it sets up potentially the most fascinating and unpredictable race of the year. I think it's awesome that we've got an all Mercedes front row. And I would say that if I had to predict a winner for this race, I'm thinking that Lewis Hamilton is most likely to do it, because I think that the combination of being at Interlagos, which he loves so much, being in front of what is his second home crowd, really, and just with the vibes and the energy that Lewis gets from this place, I think that plus being on the front row for the start for the first time this year, and having what is clearly a fantastic race car underneath him, I think that Lewis certainly, if his mesmerising performance from last year is anything to go by, where he was just on hammer time for the whole weekend basically, I think that Lewis has a great chance of winning this race. Certainly his best chance to win a race all year. So if you like what you've seen in this video, then like, subscribe, add a constructive comment. See you at the next one.